What sparked your interest in quantum physics?
Primarily my health. Even in my youth, I had allergic reactions to pollen, and from the age of 24, it became really dramatic. In spring and summer, I was getting cortisone injections every week, and my lung capacity dropped to as low as 10%. And in conventional medicine, I no longer saw any hope, so I started looking for alternatives. Yes, it was at that time that I first encountered quantum physics-based products. They were, admittedly, somewhat complicated to use and perhaps a bit slow. You had to wear them on your body, but in any case, they alleviated my problems. For me, it was also fascinating to delve deeper into the connections and background of these products. And so, that's how my adventure with quantum physics actually began.
Where did you acquire your knowledge of quantum physics?
There were many mentors, researchers and developers, and later also colleagues. The stations ranged from Switzerland, where I was at an institute that was probably the best in the world in the 90s, all the way to the USA, where I spent a long time, and finally also in Germany. I was fortunate that during my studies of quantum physics, I was also able to work, so I could learn and do research at the same time. And of course, that made quantum physics much more interesting for me. My goal was never to invent or develop new patents and formulas, but rather to translate already existing ideas and patents into reality.
What is unique about key-quant?
The three most important and key components of the key-quant products are, first, the precise application of frequencies onto special carrier materials, which can no longer be erased in any way. Second, the systematic creation and subsequent stabilization of quantum fields. And last but not least, the careful introduction of these specific frequencies into stable quantum fields. And all of this works completely without electric current, using solely and exclusively cosmic free energy, which is omnipresent.
Who are the most important people on the key-quant development team?
There were many important collaborators and researchers involved, but I would say that the most significant development came from Dr. Robert Becker, probably the best biologist and quantum physicist of the last 30 years.
Were the effects of the products tested before they came to market?
Yes, of course. Both the products and the entire technology underwent numerous tests. For example, the regeneration plate has been tested on approximately 3,000 people over the past 10 years. All these positive results ultimately led to the key-quant brand being launched worldwide.
Are there any contraindications?
No, none at all. That would also be highly unlikely, because the body only takes as much energy as it currently needs.
Why can't the frequencies of the quantum fields generated by key-quant products be measured with technical measuring devices?
That has to do with the bandwidth in which these frequencies are found. Furthermore, these frequencies have a very high frequency range, which cannot be measured by standard measuring instruments. At present, there is also no demand in science or industry to work on developing such measuring devices. Of course, at the key-quant laboratory, we do have the capability to measure these frequencies precisely.
According to your materials, electronic components are partially used. How can they function without a power supply?
Of course, for non-physicists, this sounds strange. Most institutes and researchers are working on these patents for large-scale electricity generation. So we're talking about 380 volts and more. At the key-quant, we only need very small energy sources, which are, of course, much easier to produce. Here, we use Nikola Tesla's patent, which allows us to supply energy without current.
When you search your name on the internet, there are very few records about you. Yet you have participated in many developments and collaborated with several top scientists. Do you avoid the public?
I don't avoid the public at all. I just don't think it's appropriate to put myself out there on the internet. In general, my approach is to handle research work internally until all patents, product development and studies are completed, and only then bring finished products to market. Then, of course, I am happy to give an interview like I'm doing right now.
Does the effect of these products weaken over time?
The products do not lose their effectiveness because they are powered by cosmic free energy. Even if you drop the products, the internal part is generally not damaged. Only moisture could affect the effectiveness of the products.
Can the effectiveness of these products be verified?
Of course, the effectiveness of the products can be precisely tested in a laboratory, and our customers can test the products either through kinesiology or with well-known energy measuring devices.
What is the attitude of conventional medicine towards Keyquant products?
In conventional medicine, our products are still not very well known. Nor are we actively promoting them in this area at the moment. However, those who use our products are extremely impressed by the results of dark field microscopy and HRV measurements and are using our products more and more.
Can Keyquant products manipulate us in any way?
No, all the energies emitted by the Keyquant products are purely positive. The human body only takes what it currently needs, and it would never allow any negative manipulation.
Does a person have to believe in Keyquant for the products to work?
No, not at all. Because the Keyquant generates energies that the human body needs. The body will take them, whether you believe in it or not.
Why are Keyquant products considered intelligent?
Because the products always regulate where it's needed, without the need for constant adjustment.
There are many products on the market that promise similar effects. What is the big difference between Keyquant and these products?
A special type of technology. All our products work without electricity and without magnetism. Also the technology of how frequencies and information are programmed onto carrier materials. This is done using a new patented process that cannot be overwritten or erased. With a Keyquant product, you can walk through a power plant and all the information will remain intact, and the product will continue to generate a stable energetic quantum field. Most Keyquant products are actually true quantum physical machines that create a natural field.
The products are manufactured in Switzerland and Austria. Is there any particular reason why these two production facilities are located here?
Yes, of course, because during production it is necessary to have the right external conditions and prerequisites.
Why do you manufacture in Europe and not in Asia, where it would certainly be cheaper?
What good would cheap production be if the right framework conditions weren't met? Believe me, producing the Keyquant products requires a stable environment. I personally still inspect every product before it is packaged. All products of the Keyquant workshop are carefully handcrafted, and I am still personally and actively involved in most production processes to ensure the highest quality and authenticity of every piece.
How do you actually get your inspiration from?
Most of my inspiration comes early in the morning. That's why I always keep a notebook by my bed. Bringing those ideas to life in the lab is a completely different matter.
What is your intention in making these products?
To provide many people with support that makes everyday life easier and helps maintain their health. When someone invests 17 years of their time in research, along with a significant amount of money, they naturally have to be 100% convinced about what they're doing.